So our first presentation in this session is by a pair of former cellmates, Candice Baughman and Salamasina Tanoai. They're now out of prison and together are passionate about supporting others in reentry into society in their home state of Washington. Candice Baughman is the founder of Ed for Empowerment and a program specialist with One Parish, One Prisoner. Candice served a 7-year sentence and came home through the One Parish, One Prisoner program herself. A mother of 2 teenage boys, she was supported by a small church team that met her before release and stood with her at the gate. An experience that now fuels her work with the One Parish, One program herself as the program specialist. And in this role, Candice equips congregations to form one committed team for one incarcerated neighbor, providing practical help like IDs, transportation, appointments, etc., and steady relation support during the reentry process. Candice has supported over 300 people in reentry and is completing her MBA at the same time at Adams State University with a 4.0 GPA. Yay, Candice. She speaks widely about how peer-led faith community partnerships reduce recidivism and build belonging. And we're also going to hear from her colleague, Salamasina Tanoai. Salamasina's journey has taken her from being incarcerated to being empowered. After facing challenges with addiction, prison, she chose a new path when she was released in March of 2024. Today, she's over 2 years clean and sober, a proud mother of 4 boys, and working with transition opportunities. She brings lived experience, professional skills in web development, and a deep commitment to supporting justice-impacted and underserved communities. Her story is one of second chances, and she believes transformation is possible for anyone willing to dream and rise. So again, we're going to have you listen to Candice and Salamasina, and later they'll be in a panel so you can address any questions to #M Antonia Hieronymus. Great. Candice and Salamasina.
Okay, so me right here, and then mom right here.
Yes, hello. So nice to meet you today. My name is Candice Baughman. And as David so graciously introduced me, I'm formerly incarcerated. I did 7 years at Washington Correctional Center for Women, and I released May 2023. So today I've been out of prison for 2.5 years, and I work for Underground Ministries as a program specialist. I'm about to finish my master's degree, and I'm just really excited to be here with Salamasina today.
Hi, I'm Salamasina. I'm just honored to stand here with you guys today with Prisons to Partnerships Conference and gathering is dedicated to new thinking, new energy, and new action, and gathering that brings together people who refuse to turn their back on justice-impacted individuals and just helping people learn, grow, and educate for a new system. Thank you, Candice.
You know, spending time in prison together and then being able to be on a conference like this with you is just an honor. Can we play the video for the One Parish, One Prisoner program?
2.4 million people incarcerated. That's what I think of as the mass tombs of our culture. And I think the only way we're gonna empty the tombs of mass incarceration is if we have a whole new mass movement of relationships where people know their names and care for them and know them as friend.
When you hear about someone in prison, you're just like, oh man, this guy's a convicted felon. But if it's through a letter or a phone call, you start to get to know someone whose face you have not seen. And if you do it long enough, you're gonna fall in love with that voice, with that story.
Prison's a great way to create a monster. It's also a great way to create a person who's just strong.
When I got released from prison, I had just made one of the biggest decisions in my life, to change myself, who I am, So it was overwhelming, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and I still deal with a lot of it.
I used to feel judged all the time because I was a former gang member or my tattoos, and they judge a book by a cover right away when they didn't even know me. And when I was underground mystery and meet these other people, they didn't judge me. They want to know my story. They want to know who I was. They want to get to know me.
In Washington State, there's roughly the same amount of churches as there are folks in prison. And when we did that math, we realized there's a reentry community in every town. Through One Parish One Prisoner, we're now mobilizing faith communities across Northwest Washington to do exactly what we do, which is relationship.
I was at the tail end of 27 years in prison. All of a sudden, I started getting these letters from people I didn't know, but from the community I was going back to. So I finally opened the letter up, and I was like pleasantly surprised. There's these people who are happy I'm getting out. It's nice to know that when you walk out, you're walking out not to, crap, here comes another ex-felon, more, great, you're out. Let's go get a cup of coffee and figure out what we can do now. How can we help you succeed?
There are a lot of things that happen at churches that have ulterior motives, where it is, what's in this for us? We're going to reach out to someone in hopes that they're going to come to our church or something like that. And this isn't that. This is, we are going to reach out to someone and be in relationship with someone.
I think that the reason people were drawn to the One Parish, One Prisoner program was because it feels really hopeless and helpless when you see the number of incarcerated folk and when you see people coming out of prison and then bouncing right back in. And the idea that we might be able to intercept that and change that tide in some way, shape, or form, just being human with these people who've been incarcerated, the thought of being a part of that was really compelling and exciting to people.
I'm sitting in my prison cell and I'm just thinking, like, when I get out, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna live? What job am I gonna have? The last 2 times when I got out, I didn't have like no support, no nothing, so I'll just go back to what I know. And if you have the support of a church that's connected with you and just for you, you know, and supporting you and lifting you up and being there for you, you know what I mean? That's awesome. You can't say no to that. What do you got to lose?
We got going with writing letters with Wally, and so we've built relationships over time. He knows our kids' names, we know his kids' names, he knows what's going on in our lives, we know what's going on in his, and it's become a relationship now.
When we started writing letters, I just decided I would put it all out there. I've had a history of depression and suicide. I deal with anxiety and panic attacks. I don't always feel like I belong, and I'm working through stuff and I don't have any answers for you, but I'm here and I'm a good listener.
It doesn't feel like he's our project. It feels like we're on a team with him, and it feels like it's something that we're doing together, and that's a really beautiful thing.
After being released from prison, I was already transitioning myself. So when I found out that there was a group of people with One Parish, One Prisoner that was going to be sponsoring my brother as a support group to give him opportunity to transition successfully, I was very happy for him because I know how hard it is to transition on your own. If every church did this and they were open to supporting an inmate that's about to transition, it can change a lot in the community. It can start a ripple effect that can become a huge wave in society.
I was really nervous, really nervous after almost 7 years in there locked up, you know, not seeing the streets, being free. Knowing I had a release plan with these people, it was awesome because I know I could trust in them.
I work nights. I got a bank account, you know. They helped me get my driver's license. First time I've had my driver's license in my life. I'm 31 years old.
I thank them for helping me all the time, putting a lot of positive people around me, help me pay my license, take me to my courts.
with their inspiration and their dedication towards me, I started believing in myself and finally felt like it was okay to be myself, who I really am, because I hid it behind a mask for so many years.
You and your community signing up to do One Parish, One Prisoner with us is how this movement grows, where communities of faith can be the gate into friendship and resurrection and welcoming our community home from the underground.
Thank you for playing that for me. So I actually am a program specialist with this program. And my job is I get to go all across Washington State and ask churches to be involved. And the video shows so clearly why this is important. I wanted to play that for you today in the hopes that anyone that's interested or maybe has a church community that might like to get involved can reach out to me. We are not only in Washington State, we also have another state's model. And so we do this work right now in Chicago and in Texas, and we are looking to expand that. This program changed my life. I've been out of prison for 2 years, and I'm where I'm at today. And my faith has grown in a way that I never thought when I was sitting in that cell playing cards with Salamansia. So I'm really excited that you were willing to listen and see the program that changed my life and got me to where I'm at today. And I look forward to hearing from you. And also, of course, answering the questions at the end if you have any for me. And I'm going to pass it over to Salamasina.
Yeah. Thank you, Candice. Yeah. And that's what motivated me to continue the work is just looking up to you, watching everything that you've done and grown back and just being able to go back December 4th with the 5 enters, right? Back into the prisons together and mentor some of the women and just being out here with reentry because it's so important. There's a lot of individuals out there that need the peer mentorships of the lived experience for justice impacted people. And so like I'm standing here today because someone once stood for me, right? I didn't get here on my own. I came through addiction. I came through childhood trauma. I came through prison more than once. I came through loss, shame, rebuilding, and finally reawakening. I came through all of that and I'm still rising. So it's pretty important that the work that we're doing really does help change and really does help create the difference that's needed. They have a system that's broken, but it's us creating a new system that's going to work for individuals coming through and coming out of prison. I think that giving the breath of life into individuals and education is huge. When I walked out of prison the last time, I wanted something different in my life. I wanted stability. I wanted healing. I wanted a future. But wanting, it didn't make it easy. Reentry can be overwhelming when you leave those gates, but the system doesn't leave you. You enter society, yet you feel like you're still alone, standing outside by yourself. People say you're free, but without support, how can you really be free? I know that feeling personally, and I promised myself if I ever reached a place of stability and purpose, I would reach back. I would lift others. I would help pathways I had never had. That is why I reactivated my nonprofit, formerly the Transitioning Offenders Program, and why I'm redefining it to Transition Opportunities Program, a name that reflects the reentry a name that reflects reentry as it actually should be, a transition supported by real opportunities. Today, I am not rebuilding my own life. I'm helping others rebuild theirs. I'm a part of Civil Survival, a community fighting to support and empower justice impacted ULA workshop graduate. And I work with the INVEST program, an 8-week intensive program teaching justice impacted individuals how to become small business owners and entrepreneurs. We teach them that their past does not define their future and that it can inform a better future for themselves. I'll be with the 5 enters supporting the EITs, the women who are learning how to transform their lives through their thinking and new skills in the future on December 4th. For the second time, Candice and I get to go back in there, which is really exciting. It's emotional for me walking back into the place where I once felt broken, walking back through those gates. I couldn't wait to leave, But this time it's with a purpose. This time I get to be the voice I needed when I was in those same dark gray sweats and khakis. So let me be real with you. Reentry often fails because society thinks someone's sentence ends when they walk out. But the truth is, the hardest part of incarceration often begins after release. Finding housing, finding a job, finding childcare, finding stability, rebuilding trust, navigating the systems that weren't built for us, surviving stigma that follows us everywhere. We spend billions on incarceration and almost nothing on reentry. We punish mistakes, but rarely invest in redemption. And then when people struggle, we blame them for not being strong enough instead of admitting that our community didn't show up strong enough for them. It doesn't have to be this way. Programs like Civil Survival, the Invest Program, Defy Ventures, Transition Opportunity, Parish One Prisoners, everything that we're doing right now, we believe in second chances, third chances, and real chances. We believe in transformation. We believe in healing. We believe in families can be restored. We believe cycles can be broken. And we know that lived experience, that when you invest in someone coming home, they rise. My nonprofit Transition Opportunity Program is built on 3 pillars: stability, because you can't heal if you're homeless. You can't dream if you have no safety. We help people find community support, resources, and step-by-step guidance. Skills, we provide digital literacy, job readiness, entrepreneurship pathways, financial literacy, and tools to build real futures. Excuse me, I'm nervous. You got to bear with me. Self-worth. This is the most important. You can give someone housing and a job, but if they still believe they are broken, they won't move forward. I can't do this work on my own. I can't do this work alone, and none of us can. Reentry takes a community, a movement, a partnership. We need nonprofits working together, schools working with prisons, employers willing to hire, faith communities willing to support, donors willing to invest, mentors willing to show up, policymakers willing to listen, and people like you willing to care. Partnerships allow us to expand programs, reach more women, reach more men, stop more youth from entering the pipeline, often more entrepreneurship pathways, build more wraparound support, and transform more lives. Every partnership becomes fuel for transformation. Today, this conference's theme is so powerful. A time of new thinking, new energy, and new action. New thinking asks, how do we change the system? New energy asks, how do we bring hope where there has not been any? And new action asks, why are we willing to do it? And today I stand here asking for action, not for me, but for those still behind the walls, for the ones coming home tomorrow, for the women I'll mentor on December 4th, for the EITs learning to dream again, for every justice impacted person who deserves a real opportunity to rise. I'm here because someone invested in me. Candice, thank you so much. You invested in me, and so I greatly appreciate you. And now I'm asking, will you invest in others? Will you partner with us? Will you stand with Transition Opportunities Program? Will you be a part of the movement that turns prisoners into partnerships? Because together we can rewrite futures, we can restore families, we can rebuild lives, we can break cycles, and we can create a world where justice impacted people are not forgotten, but empowered. So thank you for listening to us today, and I greatly appreciate your time.
Beautiful. Candice, anything to add at this point?
No, I think I don't want to go over time at all, but
You're
everything
fine.
that Salamansia said is 100% on point, and just really excited to be able to share our journey from the day that we got out of prison and show you 2 different ways that peer support, community connection, and just healthy relationships can really impact our lives. So thank you so much.
Okay, well, the both of you give such a face to reentry. You know, we can talk about reentry programs like they're this thing out there. But again, I think all day long we've been reminded, no matter what program we're talking about, no, it's about real people. And when you give a face to reentry and a story of reentry, it makes it so real and so compelling. And when again you give, I hope you get also that you give people an opportunity to contribute to, that, Candace, you gave the people in the parish the opportunity to contribute to you. That's a gift to them as well. So, because for people to have that fulfillment of somehow being able to empower another human being, there's nothing more fulfilling than that. So, you two are the gift to everybody that you let support you as well.
Yeah, it's one of the things about One Parish, One Prisoner. Actually, when I go talk with a church, I always say this is a mutual transformation, that this is going to change you just as much as it's going to change the person coming home. And that's what's so powerful about that program. When we look at reentry, we have two different types of programs. We have programs that offer these basic needs, and then programs that help with relationship or building community. And so I definitely advocate for One Parish, One Prisoner because it was relationship over resources. We can find resources, but if we don't have the people by us to get those resources, it just really stunts our growth a little bit. But I do enjoy Salamancia's program because they even offer like digital literacy classes and some of those basic needs that we very much need. When we can do both of those together is when we find the best success.
Just curious, just pure curiosity, when the two of you were sharing a cell together and playing cards, did you like talk about this? Did you say, hey, when we get out, let's do something together? Or how did this really evolve? When did this actually become, a kernel of an idea that then turned into such beautiful work?
Do you want to answer that or do you want me to?
No, you can go ahead and answer it. And also like our JPay and our message, right, of when you got out. And then I've messaged you of what that looks like. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the big things is that we were both just doing positive things. And when I got out before her, and we have that thing in prison. It's like, I'm going to do all these things, or I'm going to be this. And, you kind of have to take things with a grain of salt. But when I got out and I started to work in reentry and I built my own program through my master's degree called Hope on the Horizon, I actually connected with her in prison. And she's like, what are you doing? I want to be involved. And I said, let me help you. We started those securest messages back and forth, connected almost the day that she got out. And we have just built that since. I think we were just normal friends on the inside. I don't think we had any, secret plot to do things. But I think the moment you see someone that get out and do something different, right? That idea of like you see something you want, then that's when you connect. And it started through Securus. And I just love what she's doing today. She'll call me up and ask for advice, and I'll call her up. So it's been a pretty amazing experience.
Wonderful. Salamasina, when were you released from prison?
March 24th, March 23rd, 2024.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. Good.
Ago, right?
So a little bit after Candice. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the two of you, that partnership, the friendship you created inside the prison, to have it come to fruition the way you have it, the difference you're making together is awesome. Just awesome. Thank you so much for sharing it with all of us. And we look forward to supporting you in every way we can. Beautiful. Great.